Hunter was, I mean, to me, he was, prior to even meeting him, he was somebody that I'd greatly admired. You know, his work, his books, his outlook, you know, his whole way of life, his whole sort of way of moving forward in this kind of strange little soup bowl of existence. And when I met him, there was an instant kind of click between the two of us, and from that second on, it never let up. You know, we were very close until, you know, the moment of his exit. I came across the Rum Diary with Hunter, you know, almost sort of accidentally. We were down in, we were in his house in Woody Creek, downstairs in what was called the War Room. It was called the War Room. And there were just, you know, like just these endless sort of boxes of stuff. You didn't know what it was, but so we're down there, just like, I started just pulling things out, going, what is this? You know, bang, you know, open it up. And I stumbled upon what was called the Rum Diary. He said, maybe I should finally, maybe I should publish it. You know, I was like, yeah, you should publish it, it's great. And then from that conversation, about within 20 minutes, we were already talking about the movie rights and how we should produce this film together, and I was all for it, and, you know, with him on that venture. And yeah, before the book was even published, we were talking about, you know, how we could make it into a film. Paul Kemp is, and always was for me, the early days, the early version of Hunter S. Thompson. You know, he was always going to be that guy 10 years or 12 years prior to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, you know. He was that guy, you know, looking for the voice, looking for his voice, and trying to find a way to express himself and write. So yeah, Paul Kemp is Hunter. The film is about a very, you know, up-and-coming, hungry journalist, Paul Kemp, who sort of lies his way into a job at a newspaper in Puerto Rico to be able to write for a living. And he goes there and experiences, well, the horrors of the institution of news, which is to say that, you know, they're selling things, you know, they're selling news. It's not telling the news, it's more like selling the news. And it's a great, you know, discomfort to Kemp, who is obsessed with the idea of just writing and speaking the truth. He goes there to meet Lauderman, who runs the paper, who's the editor of the San Juan Star. And just prior to, he meets with Bob Sala. And Sala kind of welcomes him into the fold and tries to give him the, you know, the skinny on, you know, how to proceed with things, you know. And, you know, weirdly, Sala's kind of okay with, you know, selling lies and that whole deal, and until he meets with Paul Kemp. And then they go into this other arena where they have the opportunity to expose something. There's a girl named Chanot that the Hunter character meets quite by accident, but maybe a lot by fate. And she happens to be the girlfriend of one of these industrialists, you know, who want to turn paradise into a playground for adults. I asked that there be a chair made for Hunter with his name on it. I asked that there be a script cover made for Hunter with his name on it. I asked that there be an ashtray and a little block of, a little packet of Dunhills with a cigarette holder every day, with a lighter for Hunter. I asked that there be Chivas Regal, a bottle, next to his chair every day, and of course a bottle of ice. I mean, a highball glass filled with ice next to the bottle for Hunter. When the Rum Diary came up, I said, "What about Bruce Robinson?" He was like, "That's the ticket, man." You know, Hunter was truly into it. Especially the fact was like, we can't get him out of retirement. We will get him out of retirement, you know, and we eventually did. Although, you know, Hunter, you know, chose to make his exit a little too early, and he didn't live to see Bruce Robinson become the writer-director of the piece. But that was our, you know, he was our initial sort of hope, Bruce, and eventually I got him.